This is the kind of day in which we say LA isn't just marked by doing big things, but we are defined by the way that our ambitions continue to propel us forward out of some of the darkest days into what we can see just ahead of us. Not hope hanging on the horizon, but hope in our hands. Jobs, less traffic, cleaner air, the capability of welcoming people from around the world and the country, or welcoming Angelenos back home, and not being that place in which you have to do that stuck by yourself or maybe with one other person in a car in traffic. That today is what we celebrate here as we break ground on the connection of two great entities, both of which I'm so proud to be a small part of, our Los Angeles World Airports and our Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority, or Metro. Now, it's a cliche here in Los Angeles that usually we don't know how to get along with each other, right? That we cut government into so many pieces that they can't talk to each other, can't take on big projects, that agencies don't like doing things together, that the business community, residential community, the governmental communities really don't interact with one another. But I'd like to put Exhibit A here today. This group of leaders out in the audience and right here. The men and women who build things, the engineers and the architects, the people who are the dreamers and those who are the elected public officials who I'm so proud to serve with, the community members who demand that we do it in a way, and I won't take Mike Bonin's line, but you'll hear it, that is good both at the airport and for the residents. And I'm going to pause every so often. I encourage our speakers to as the planes come by here. But we are finally here to bring a train to the plains. Today we're breaking ground on the Airport Metro Connector, the hub where you will connect from public transit to the automated people mover that's now under construction right there. And if you didn't think it was big, just look over there and get a sense of how much steel and concrete, how much engineering and how much work went into this. Angelenos have literally been waiting for this their entire lives. When I ran for mayor, I could be in any part of the city with frequent flyers or people who hadn't ever been on a plane but maybe had to pick up a relative. And I'll tell you, the biggest applause line was always, we're going to bring public transportation to LAX. There was always a few people in the back that would kind of cynically go, yeah, I've heard this before. And indeed we have. It was in 1988 when Ronald Reagan was the president, Tom Bradley was the mayor, that the Los Angeles County Transportation Commission first looked at a study to bring a line here to LAX. Well, earlier than that, there had been talk about that from the airport, but the then unenlightened airport director didn't want to lose the parking revenue. So decade after decade, generation after generation, we sat in the LAX horseshoe, waiting to pick somebody up, or after we pick somebody up, showing them LA for the first hour at LAX. But this will be a celebration for all of us. It doesn't matter where you're from. This will serve you no matter where you are, not just in LA County, but here in the Southland. For 40 years, we've been dreaming and talking about bringing accessible transportation here. But it is a group of leaders that started way back when that we continue to push forward with. But the ones that are here today, these Metro leaders that represent you, are the ones who are bringing it through the finish line. Supervisor Holly Mitchell, Supervisor Janice Hahn, Council Member Mike Bonin, Inglewood Mayor James Butts, and Whittier Councilmember Fernando Dutra. Give them all a round of applause and thank them for the work that they have done to make this happen. I also want to thank Mark Ridley Thomas and Don Kanabe and those who came before them too, but those two worked very, very hard. We're also joined by our extraordinary CEO of LAWA, who hasn't just presided over the opening of the first new terminal in America post-pandemic, but the first and second within 3 weeks of each other, Justin Urbachi. And check out that Bradley West Concourse and Terminal 1.5 at your own convenience. They're both beautiful. And our new, and I love saying this, CEO of Metro, returned back home, Stephanie Wiggins. Great to have you here as well. She might be new, but her fingerprints are all over this from her last job with Metro. This won't just be the site of our new Crenshaw LAX line station. We're going to have a bus plaza here with electric bus charging stations because by 2030, all Metro buses will be electric and emissions free. We'll have a dedicated drop-off area here so you never have to go into that horseshoe unless you really want to see the theme building. There's going to be a bicycle hub because we're looking to make LAX, the gateway to our City of Angels, as accessible by as many modes of transportation as possible. And no matter how you get here, whether it's by train, by bus, by car, by bike, by walking, it'll be a quick ride on the APM, the Automated People Mover, right to the Central Terminal area. And we expect the Airport Metro Connector and the People Mover to be open and ready for riders by late 2024. I've stopped making the jokes about late 2022. But we are now nurturing a dream that so many held. And I want to thank my predecessor as well, Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, who campaigned for Measure R, whose monies are in here. Everybody out there who campaigned for Measure M, which has money in this as well. And the dream of that hard work that brought together a historic coalition across LA County, where we recognize that what happens in the eastern edge of the county affects us here in the west and vice versa, north to south. This is one of many projects that Measure M, the largest transportation initiative in local level in American history ×2, is doing throughout our county, including, and 15 transit lines that we're either extending or building anew, including the Crenshaw LAX line that will connect here and that will open very soon. But we're not resting on our laurels. The Airport Metro Connector is also one of the 28 projects that we fast-tracked by 2028, when the Olympics and Paralympics come to Los Angeles. And I want to thank the governor and the legislature, and we have State Senator Ben Allen here, for including $1 billion to help accelerate that 28 by 28. Thank you very much for your leadership and making that happen as well. So I'm just the MC, and now I'd like to bring up a man who really has helped me turn the page in relations to go from not fighting with our neighbors at LAX, but serving them while we build an amazing world-class airport, the third busiest in the world, the second busiest in our country, one that is not going to stop continuing to rebuild. Under his leadership, we've literally done the metaphor that was given. It's like we had open-heart surgery while still running a marathon. We had an airport that was moving forward as we've rebuilt the entire thing, and that wouldn't have happened without the council member for this district, the one and only Mike Bonin.
Thank you. You're not going to get me to dance. But this song has been in my head all morning long. CeCe Peniston from 1990, Holly remembers it. Finally, it's happening to me right in front of my face, and I just can't hide it. Finally, this damn thing is happening. Thank you, Mayor Garcetti. Thank you to Metro, and thank you to LAWA, and thank you to everybody, the hundreds, the thousands of people who are finally making this damn thing a reality. Mayor Garcetti told the story that every elected official, particularly from this part of town, knows very well. Biggest applause line in the world is saying you would get mass transit to the airport. Well, we are denying that to every generation of subsequent elected official coming forward because we are getting it done. When Mayor Garcetti, whose leadership is so crucial to this, first appointed me to the Metro Board in 2013, the argument I made to him, the thing I was most eager to work on, was getting this to happen. And the moment I was appointed, I called Don Knabe and I called Mark Ridley Thomas, and I said, let's get this done. And this was really the focus for the first year until we got this approved in 2014. And there are so many people, generations of staff at Metro, generations of staff at the airport that deserve some love for it, so many people in the community. So, something happened as I was walking over here today, which is just emblematic of the change. Justin and Stephanie saw each other, And Stephanie said, "Justin!" and ran up and gave him a big hug. But you just stole the line right out of my mouth, man. Ah, man, he uses every line before you get up. Now he's starting to take them while you're up. Just like the Metro connection. But what's different is that hug, like that warmth, that embrace, that wasn't there 8 or 9 years ago. It was really hard to get people of good faith and goodwill from one agency to talk the same language to people of good faith and goodwill of the other agency. FAA, FTA, EIR, NEPA, all sorts of stuff made it a very, very complicated conversation. But people who really wanted to make this happen got this done, or will be getting this done. And this is not, as the mayor said, just a typical train station. When we were talking about where to do this, the mayor and I actually took suitcases, and we went with Metro and with LAWA staff, and we went to the different locations, and we were lugging suitcases. We were trying to factor in the schlep factor. What it would be like for a passenger to experience the transfer from LA Metro to the automated people mover. How easy were we going to make it? And the people who have worked so long and so hard on this really made that a top consideration. What you're going to see built here isn't just another platform. It's not even just the biggest light rail platform in the Metro system. It is actually a station. It is a hub. It is a gathering place. There will be amenities there. There will be a welcome center there. There will be restrooms there. That's a bit unusual for the transit system in Los Angeles, but there are going to be restrooms there. And it isn't just for train. It's also, there's going to be 16 bays for buses. As the mayor said, we're going to be all electric by then. It's going to be a bike hub. This will be the most bike-friendly airport in the country. And there are going to be places to drop off passengers. This is going to be the front door to the airport and the transfer from mass transit to the airport. It's going to be an amazing thing. Today is just the beginning. While we're going to be blowing something up today, what we're building is even more exciting and even more promising and more fulfilling. Again, thank you everybody who helped make this happen, finally.
Thank you, Mike. You absolutely have your fingerprints all over this, and I hope that when this opens as well, that you will get the credit that you deserve. I know how tireless you have been about this and what a great job you have done in making sure that this day is manifest. Next, our good friend, State Senator Ben Allen, has the honor of representing the coast, which means he has the worst traffic in America. And I know how important mitigating that traffic has been to him. And in a historic year, our state legislature and our governor have done an incredible job to not only make us the fiscally most sound state in America, but to have had less of an economic downturn than other states that often brag about stealing our jobs or our businesses. And it really has been his intelligence and it has been his focus on his district that has made him such a leader in Sacramento, and we're so honored that he is with us here today. This couldn't be done without the state as well, so please welcome State Senator Ben Allen.
Almost gave him a kiss because it's such an exciting day. It's absolutely right. Finally, it's happened to us. That song came out in 1990, which was the year the Blue Line opened, I believe. And when I was 12 years old, and I'm a son of somebody who from the UK. My father is a Brit, and we would go visit my family in the UK nearly every summer. My dad was a professor, my mom was a teacher, so we had some summers off. And I just loved London. I loved being able to travel around that city. As a 12-year-old, in safety, I could travel around by myself on the tube and go visit a museum and then meet up with my parents for dinner. And I always just thought to myself, why is it that we don't have this in our city? Wonderful Los Angeles. It's so pedestrian. It's so the weather's so fantastic. why don't we have a system like that? Why aren't we part of the League of Civilized Cities that has a decent metro system? And I created a little scrapbook. I was telling the director that charted the growth of this system. And I went back the other day and I looked at some of the maps that they designed, and I really would have hoped that we would have had this system in place a little earlier. But here we are. We're finally here because of the dogged determination of the people up here on this stage and so many of you, and also so many who came before us who said, we really need to do better here in Los Angeles. We have to have a transit system here that connects people to the airport. When people come from around the world and expect to see a world-class city, they expect to see a world-class transit system connecting them to the city from the airport. And so it's just so fantastic to be at this place where we're able to help from the state. The mayor's absolutely right. I was actually part of a group of legislators that said when Jerry Brown was insisting on this gas tax, this infamous gas tax that sought to put in place roads and bridges repairs for our road infrastructure, I was part of a small group of legislators that said, wait a minute, I support this 100%, but we have to make sure that a portion of this money is also going to go to transit development to build out our transit infrastructure, because that's an important part of the solution as well. We held out our votes and we ended up getting $700 million a year into the gas tax that's going to public transit projects up and down the state. And then, of course, the voters went ahead and upheld that gas tax, which was an amazing thing because voters don't typically like to support taxes, but they recognized the fact that we needed this infrastructure funding. That money's now coming out the gates. The mayor mentioned, as was said, that we're now going to put in some additional dollars through the Olympics funding and some other transportation funding to ensure that there's more money coming down the pike. So much of that has to do with the incredible leadership of our former Senate Budget Chair, Holly Mitchell, who you now have the benefit of serving on the Board of Supervisors. Holly served as budget chair for several years and ensured that we had a compassionate budget that continued to fund important and vital social services while also saving up for a rainy day. And it put us into a place where we were now able to grow and thrive during this pandemic amazingly, and put us into a place where we're now actually able to put out quite a bit more money to help just these kinds of projects up and down the state of California. And that's so much thanks to her leadership and her vision and her foresight. So I'm immensely excited. I'm literally going to run off the stage and get onto an airplane. My wife and baby are literally checked in at Terminal 1, so I'm going to miss the demo. I'm going to have to watch the demolition from the air. But it's so exciting to be here. And I just want to, as a Angelino who has watched and grown and thought about Metro for a long, long time, I just want to say thank you to the leadership up here. Thank you for making this a reality. I know how much work has gone into this. I know how much time and how much you had to fight against naysayers who never thought that LA, this was for LA. They always thought of LA as a car city. The vision, the doggedness, the determination that you all put into making this a reality is a real gift. It's a gift to current Angelinos, and it's a gift to my son's generation that will be able to live and thrive in a very different city because you had a vision. So thank you for all you're doing for future Angelinos and all of our visitors. This is a bright, bright day.
He's just going to Sacramento, folks, so it's not like he's flying to England or something. But are there any questions for the state senator so we can make him miss his flight? Any? Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much, and talk about good timing. I'm glad we could work it around your schedule here and that we could make this happen. You already said such kind things, but I think each one of us up here could say the same about Holly Mitchell. She is somebody, once you meet her, she has an infectious enthusiasm. She has a righteous ethics. She is somebody who, when she has to play defense to defend people, she does that incredibly well. And when she goes on offense, get out of the way, because she's going to do big things. And we are so pleased that she is now part of our local pantheon of leaders as well, and we are so pleased that she is here, already one of our newest board members, but already one of our most powerful, most focused, and congratulations, Director, on this groundbreaking in your first term on the Metro Board, and we look forward to the amazing things you will do. Please welcome Supervisor Holly Mitchell.
First of all, don't feel sorry for Ben Allen. He was late every Monday morning as we were trying to get on that flight to get to Sacramento for a floor session on time. But I see you. You did make it. You did. I don't know if he never missed it. He always made it. Supervisor Hahn, welcome to my hood. Welcome to my hood, and I say that with great affection. And it is my absolute honor to be a newly elected member to the Board of Supervisors, a new member of the LA Metro Board, and at my first groundbreaking in my own hood, so I'm very pleased to say that. As my predecessor, MRT, as we affectionately refer to him, would say, it's a good day in Los Angeles. That's my impersonation. It's a good day in Los Angeles. Then he would call out someone's name. Mayor Butts, it's a good day in Los Angeles. You know, as I listened to Mayor Garcetti say that, as native Angelenos, this is the day we've always dreamed of, it occurred to me that it wasn't the day I always dreamed of. Because as a native Angeleno growing up in LA, I didn't know any different. You go pick up great-grandma who would be coming to visit twice a year from Arizona, and you'd go an hour early because you'd have to circle, or you'd park, and then you'd walk over. I didn't know any different until I had two experiences. Was a young field deputy for then State Senator Diane Watson. She allowed me to go to the Democratic National Convention in Atlanta, and I landed in the Atlanta airport for the first time and heard about something called MARTA. And then I could get on MARTA in the airport and go to my hotel. Mind-blowing. About 6 months later, I'm sitting outside her office as young, 22-year-old field deputies do, ear hustling. It was a late night, and I was assigned to staff her, and Mayor Tom Bradley was in the office. And I could hear them both say, can you imagine a train that would go down Crenshaw to the airport? And that's when I began to understand the value of that vision, and to think that I could now be in this position all of these decades later and see it come to fruition. As a Lamert Park girl, as a Crenshaw Corridor girl, as a girl who found her independence riding the RTD to the Fox Hills Mall to go on dates at 14 because your parents wouldn't let you. I am thrilled to be a Metro Board member and thrilled to be a part of the history that we are going to make for this region. This is indeed an amazing day. It's also an amazing day because, Ms. Wiggins, you and I are going to make sure that the Crenshaw line does open. We are. I had the opportunity of just touring the construction site last month, and while I know the journey's been long, I'm filled with a sense of pride around the work that the Metro staff, led by the Board of Directors, has done. We're almost there, and that's a critical element to the success of this connector. Much will be said today about creating an alternative LAX for visitors and Angelenos alike, and it will be. But I also have to add, on behalf of the constituents I have the privilege of representing, that nearly half of all LAX employees are residents of this district, and most of these employees are on the front lines of making the airport soar. The Airport Metro Connector will provide many of those employees with a way to get to work in an affordable and reliable way every day. That can't be overlooked. So again, thank you to the leadership at LAWA, who've been committed partners to the 2nd District to train skilled construction workers as well. Their Hire LAX program at Southwest Community College is building the local and equitable workforce pipeline for the future. That too deserves a round of applause. I appreciate you. So we have a lot to celebrate today. On behalf of the residents of the 2nd District, I want to thank my fellow board members, Mayor Butts, Mayor Garcetti, Supervisor Hahn, Councilmember Bonin, and the entire board. My constituent also, Jackie DuPont Walker, board member, who has put her shoulder to the grindstone along with my predecessor to make sure today became a reality. Again, thanks to the Metro leadership and committed staff for lifting our region through the Airport Metro Connector. It's a pleasure to be with you all today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Supervisor, for your great words and great work. And I know you are able to do that side by side, another superb public servant who used to be a seatmate of mine in the City Council before she went off to represent us in Washington, come back at the local level, of not just following in her father's footsteps, but blazing a new path, and one who has been tireless about connecting this airport. She's represented this airport in so many different ways, and I know how happy she is to be here today as well. Please give it up for our Supervisor, Janice Hahn.
Thank you, Mayor Garcetti. Thank you for your leadership. You have been unwavering on so many issues for not just the city of Los Angeles, but for our entire region. But transportation has clearly been one of your focuses, and what we're doing here today is a result of your leadership. And while we're talking about some past history, of course, as you said, my own father, Supervisor Kenny Hahn, of course, was such a transportation visionary. We talked transportation at our dinner table every night, and he, of course, championed the first ever sales tax that would go towards building transportation projects, and that is why the Blue Line it was built in the first place. And of course, my brother Mayor Hahn also reimagined LAX and certainly imagined a better transportation system coming right into LAX. And I wanted to give him a shout out today too. Isn't it nice to see Lydia Kennard here, a former executive director of LAWA. So good to see you here today. And I'm looking at Young Ji Kim, who was my transportation deputy and now heads up the Montebello Transit Authority. So she's really nice to see you again. Transportation has also been a huge part of your family. You know, Ronald Reagan famously once said that the most terrifying words in any language was, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." Well, here in LA, we know that the most terrifying words are actually, "Hey, can you pick me up at LAX?" That was for you, John Baird at KNX. Well, with this project, we are well on our way to changing that. And in a few years, you can tell everyone who even hints at asking you for a ride to or from the airport that they should just take Metro. You know, ever since I was on the city council, we've dreamt of bringing rail to LAX, as everyone has said today. I've used that line as well in every campaign I've ever run for. The idea of bringing transportation right into the airport was a concept that everyone envisioned. This is the second busiest airport in the nation, and this airport connector station, in conjunction with the LAX People Mover, will finally bring this airport into the 21st century and take away so much of the stress of traveling. For the communities that I represent, and by the way, Ms. Mitchell, nice to be in your district. I think my district is only like a block and a half away, but you know, we're together here. For the communities that I represent, especially in the South Bay and the gateway cities, this new station is going to be by far the easiest and best way to get to and from the airport. But this singular station can't be successful on its own. It's going to be effective because it's going to be connected to the rail and bus network that we've been working on for decades to expand to more and more communities. It's so appropriate that today we're going to be breaking ground today on a lot that was once a rental car facility. And we will be demolishing that part of the facility because this project is part of our steady progress towards a transit future where visitors to LA County can skip the car rental and LA County residents can make the decision to leave their cars at home. That's a future that will not only mean less time in traffic, it will mean drastically better for our environment and our united fight against climate change. After years and years of talking about bringing rail to LAX, I'm so proud as well that this day has finally come. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. And thank you for the geography lesson, too. We're always close to your district, no matter where we are in LA County, so don't worry. Next, you've seen Inglewood rise, not only when you fly in and you see the most beautiful stadium ever built, which will welcome fans to a Super Bowl this coming year, hopefully with an LA team connected. But his vision of Inglewood has made it a city of champions again. He is a great Metro director representing the southern part of and the South Bay cities and the West Side cities here, and we are so proud to serve alongside him. Please welcome Inglewood's Mayor, Mayor Jim Butts.
Well, good morning. You know, a lot of people think of me as spending a lot of time in law enforcement, being mayor. I spent 50 years in public service, but a lot of people don't know 5 years of that time I spent working for the airport. And so while I congratulate the mayor and Justin, I really want to make sure that we acknowledge the person with the great wisdom to hire me, Lydia Kennard. Because Lydia was acquiring these parcels that were necessary to be acquired so the Metro Connector could be built. So please give her a big hand, because I, like her, one day will be sitting in the audience when they're praising the mayor at the time for the Olympics when they come to Inglewood, or when the Clippers open. And so I want to make sure that we remember it's the people that come before that lay the predicate so that the Justin Abrachis of today can get the credit. Now, this project is destined to become a significant landmark of the Los Angeles landscape. Connecting bus and rail with LAX is a win-win for the region. Metro, along with our municipal operators, will share this new transit hub, offering direct connections to the airport terminals through LAX's automated people mover. What a concept. Linking transit to LAX. Now, when I was working for the airport, I was in charge of public safety, counterterrorism, and security. But the thing that took the most time was getting those cars in and out of the horseshoe of LAX. One of the busiest airports in the country, and we had people come through that horseshoe. It was ridiculous. Speaking of transit, in the city of Inglewood, we prepared a draft environmental impact report on a 1.6-mile automated people mover project that will connect the downtown Inglewood station at Florence and Market along the Crenshaw LAX line with direct connections to the SoFi Stadium, the Forum, and the proposed basketball arena for the LA Clippers. This project, in addition to connecting with a series of sports and entertainment venues, would also create a direct link to what's going to be the sports entertainment capital of the country. So now we know why this was really done. It was so people could get to Inglewood to come to basketball and football. This 300-acre district, which is also home to the new NFL Network's media campus, is approved for the construction of approximately 2,000 apartments, 800,000 square feet of office space, 2,000 residential units, and 900,000 square feet of stores and restaurants. The ridership projects contained in the environmental study suggest that roughly 3,100 passengers would make use of the people mover on an average weekday. And that could swell to as much as 25,000 with events at any of the 3 venues along the southern leg. This project, combined with the people mover in Inglewood, has the potential to be a linchpin for transit in Southern California. Now, although this project I'm talking about is slated to run within Inglewood city limits, our grant application submitted to the state of California suggests that the people mover could eventually be extended further south to connect with Metro's C line in the median of the I-105 freeway, and I envision a future connection to LAWA's automated people mover that is now under construction, but it was secretly designed just to connect Inglewood. Lots of improved transit options are in the works for this region, and I'm excited to be here today as we launch this major airport Metro Connection project forward, and I want to congratulate Mayor Garcetti again for the hard work that he has done to make this project come to fruition. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor, and we do look forward to a straight shot in Inglewood one day. I think it would be great and makes a lot of sense. So next, our newest board member is Fernando Dutra, somebody who represents our southeast cities on the Metro board and has been a really strong voice. I know he is as supportive of this as we are of getting lines not only to the east part of our county, but the southeast cities that have been for so long neglected. And we want that to be tied in seamlessly so you can pick up from one of those cities, get on transit, and get to the airport. And we're so pleased he has his background in construction and has already kept his eagle eye on that and has just been a superb colleague and board member already. Please welcome Councilmember Fernando Dutra.
Well, thank you very much, and it's following, Mike Bonham and the mayor, sort of like following George Clooney and Rodney Dangerfield. These guys, they're funny and they're smart and good looking, I know I'd get a, but, I could walk up here and say ditto to all of it and I could be done. Some great words by, Mayor Butts and certainly supervisors. But it's wonderful to be here and be part of it. But I'm thinking back on my connection to this airport. I lived a bunch of years in Europe and also in Boston. And but years ago, I was building projects all over the United States. And one year I got to travel 121,000 commercial miles in the United States, right? And you can imagine what 121,000 miles looks like. It means that I was here at this airport once or twice a month easily. But I got to travel to a lot of other airports as well. And I remember two times when, of course, it happened to be in December. One time I left here in December. I was wearing a pair of white shorts and a Hawaiian shirt, and I landed in Boston Logan in December and got off, and I took the T to, in and out of the airport. I thought, wow. What a great opportunity to just come in and from wherever you are in Boston and end up at the airport. Why can't we do that in Los Angeles? I thought, we got some really smart people. Why can't we do that here? I did the same thing in Detroit and several other cities. And I thought to myself, why can't we do this? And finally, it's happening. Right? Finally, we're making this connection. And for someone that traveled a lot back then, I can tell you that this is a big deal for our city, our county, and the whole state of California. But, for me, I'm a contractor, and I pay attention to the details. I look at little things like, the escalators that we're putting in and how easily they'll make it, so that we can just take our little roller bags and roll on up to from the train to the airport. This station will have a nice new roof and new covering, provide shade from preventing us from getting drenched in the rain. I mean, it has everything. And also, we have solar panels. The solar panels, of course, and the native landscaping and the electric bus charging. This is what sustainability is about. Well, when you think about construction and new building, you think about solar panels and native plants and all this electric charging opportunities so that we can keep our word about sustainability and keeping emissions down. And this station does that. So I'm very, very excited to be part of it. As a new guy, I get to kind of just show up and take advantage of all of these cool new projects, and thank you. I like doing that. But I'm excited to be part of this, and thank you very much, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Dutra and Director Dutra. Now you get to hear from two people who actually had led that embrace, both literally and figuratively today. Two exceptional leaders who really represent two of the most important agencies, not just for the Southland, but in this country. We're so blessed that people still want these jobs, that people still do these jobs, and that they do them exceptionally well with teams that are equally excellent. And I want to start with a man who was smart enough to take the helm of LAWA when we were 90% down in our passenger traffic, so he has already increased sixfold the number of people at LAX since he has been the leader. As I said, he's opened up 2 new terminals, which, no joke, he had his fingerprints on before when he was deputy CEO, and is just a fine gentleman and a great leader in aviation and in public transportation. Justin Urbachi, CEO of LAWA.
Thank you, Mayor Garcetti, for bringing us together today to celebrate this really incredible project. And thank you very much for your leadership and your vision that finally will bring rail service to LAX. Councilmember Bonin, Supervisor Mitchell, Supervisor Hahn, Mayor Butts, Councilmember Dutra, thank you for all your support to make all of this possible and for your continued leadership and dedication to improving this region. And CEO Wiggins, I look forward to the hug every time we meet. And I look forward to our project continuing that long hug. But thank you very much to you and the Metro team for all your collaboration, all your partnership, as we work in concert to deliver two projects that together will revolutionize transport in Los Angeles. Today we are celebrating, and I need to make sure we're also thanking all of the people at LAWA, the wonderful team we have at LAWA who worked so hard over the years to make this possible as well. I know we have Bernardo Gonia and Samantha Bricker from our team today, but there are many people before them who did that. And I want to give a shout out to my predecessors, including Lydia, Deborah Flint, who also were really important in making this project possible. But today we're celebrating a groundbreaking of a project that will fundamentally transform how people access LAX and at long last provide a connection between LAX and Metro Rail. To be a world-class airport, we must create world-class transportation options for our employees and our guests. And this Metro Connector will do just that. And give us a multimodal gateway to and from the airport that all the people from Los Angeles deserve. As you can see all around us, our LAX modernization and transformation is moving full steam ahead. While people were safe at home, literally the projects were rising out of the ground here. And as people come back to the airport now, they're seeing a transformed LAX and infrastructure that's literally risen out of the ground. You can see ahead of me here our consolidated rental car facility that when completed will be the biggest in the world and will streamline rental car process. To the right, we can see the automated people mover train guideway that will finally bring the people into LAX, connect them with rail, with a consolidated rental car facility, and with the intermodal transportation facility, which is a little bit behind me on the way here, which is very close to completion, and many of us will be together in just a few months to open that. And these projects, together with the Metro Connector, will provide Angelenos and visitors to Los Angeles more sustainable options to get in and out of LAX, and it will significantly reduce traffic congestion in this area. I just want to give a big shout out and a thank you and congratulations to all who helped us get here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin, so much. And you know, one of the things we're very proud of, too, in both agencies, when I had a hand both in recruiting Phil Washington to come here and Deborah Flint, was I saw their record when it came to making sure that we brought up women-owned and minority-owned business enterprises. And I know at our 96th Street station, it became one of the first times that Metro's ever had a majority women-led. Lydia Kennard's part of that team that won that successfully. To have a women majority-led, because we saw so many decades of minority-owned firms and women-owned firms that were always brought in to win things, but never brought in to lead things. And it is really that legacy that both of these CEOs continue, because they were behind the scenes making that happen, push forward. And it's just something we're very proud of, as well as the workers who themselves, as was mentioned in passing, I think, by Supervisor Mitchell, that are coming from the neighborhood and building things in the neighborhood. Both of those are really exceptional reflections that we don't just build things, we build them in a way that reflects what and who Los Angeles is. And somebody who embodies that is Stephanie Wiggins, our CEO, who, as I mentioned, is no stranger to Metro, who we're so proud to be leading this organization, and who has a very big, bold vision, not just to finish what we are starting, but to get into the dirt and to see through things that we have not yet seen. And we are so proud that she is our CEO. Please welcome her, Stephanie Wiggins.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Chair, Honorable Supervisor Mitchell, Supervisor Hahn, Director Bonin, Director Dutra. Thank you on behalf of all of the 11,000 Metro employees. It's my honor to wrap up this part of our program with what I think, as I listen to our distinguished speakers, and there are various quoters today. I think Supervisor Hahn quoted Reagan. Director Bonin quoted our great poet, C.C. Pennington. I'm thinking of an excerpt that includes of the people, for the people, and by the people. And what we've heard this morning is the vision from elected leaders today and from the past of the vision of the people. We know how important this landmark opportunity is, particularly as we as a region look to bring planes, trains, buses, bikes, and automobiles together. So when I think about for the people, I really want to highlight the importance of regional collaboration. You've heard from my colleague Justin about the importance of the coordination and the partnership with LAWA. I also want to give a shout out to the partnership with our municipal transit agencies, particularly Torrance Transit. I know Kim Turner, the general manager, is here. They also will be providing feeder bus service to the Metro Connector, as well as Culver City, Santa Monica Big Blue Bus, and I thought I saw General Manager Salita Reynolds of LADOT. It's really important when we think about for the people, it's for all the people. And we really want them to think of transit as the first way to get to the airport. And their partnership is making that happen. And as I close with by the people, this only happens with the people who are working on this project. The mayor talked about the historic nature of our construction management support services team. That's all women-led team as primes. I want to also give a shout out to KDG, Kennard Design Group, plus Destination Enterprises, Lydia Kennard and Sheila Taylor, who I understand from our senior leadership and program management is phenomenal in her leading the construction management for this project. From LAWA, I also, Justin, want to thank the great Samantha Bricker. She's been in the trenches on this since when I was deputy CEO. Jake Adams and Bernardo Gonya. Hensel Phelps, who's responsible for this today. Our contractor, Nathaniel Lowry. And from Gruen and Grimshaw, they designed this project. Deborah Gerard, Andrew Byrne, and Jill Wagner. And of course, my Metro team, led by Brian Pennington, who's our interim chief program management officer, Tim Lindholm, our project executive, Rafi Zamani, our project manager, Paul Wang, our deputy project manager, and Conan Chung, our senior executive officer for service development. It truly is an incredible opportunity that working together of the people, for the people, and by the people, we have this phenomenal opportunity to really connect our prestigious airport to transit. And I thank everyone for your support, your perseverance, and your continued activism to make sure everyone goes Metro. Thank you.
Finally, before we blow some stuff up, I just want to say a couple words in Spanish as well. Muy buenos días a todos y gracias por venir. Este día es como un sueño no solo para mí, pero para esta ciudad, este condado, por Los Ángeles y todos los residentes que han tenido un sueño de transporte público a nuestro aeropuerto aquí en LAX. Es un gran gusto estar aquí el día de hoy, aquí en el aeropuerto LAX, con algunos de los grandes líderes en esta región y también con los residentes, también que son parte de con sus votos durante medidas R y medida M en el pasado, los fondos, el resultado de estos fondos es esta construcción. Hoy estamos aquí para abrir camino a Airport Metro Connector, una conexión de metro en el aeropuerto, un centro que conectará al transporte público con un sistema automatizado y el que ya está en construcción. Y estos trabajos son trabajos locales para nuestros residentes aquí, nuestras compañías que están en Los Ángeles. Y este proyecto concretará la transformación del aeropuerto LAX, aliviará la congestión, reducirá emisiones y hará el ir y venir de este aeropuerto de clase mundial más fácil para todos que vienen aquí de viaje o por trabajo. No importa cómo se llega aquí, si es por tren, autobús, vehículo o bicicleta, será un viaje más rápido gracias a este sistema optimizado de transporte que irá directa hacia la área central de la terminal. Esperamos que este conector de metro que vaya hacia el aeropuerto abra sus puertos para viajeros en el 2024, 4 años antes de los Juegos Olímpicos. Después de décadas de planificación y espera, finalmente estaremos trayendo metro a LAX. So thank you again all for making this happen. Thank you for the work that you will do. And just picture for a minute, I'll leave you with one last request. Just picture around you the hall that will be here. It won't be as big as Union Station, but it will be almost as significant as that. One of the 2 or 3 most vital hubs that we will have, where people will reunite, where there will be probably people who drop down on their knees to ask them to marry them. There will be folks that will be able to hug somebody because they haven't seen them in years, be able to land that job right here because of a connection. This will be a place where Los Angeles not just comes through, but where Los Angeles is best expressed. And with that, I guess I'll toss it over here. Is that what we're going to do? And let's watch some stuff get destroyed. Thank you all so much, and congratulations.